The passport wasn't mine. And it wasn't my husband's. At least, not the man I thought I married. My name is Helena Brooks. I lived in Boston, Massachusetts, in a quiet neighborhood where nothing dramatic ever happened. White fences. Morning joggers. Friendly neighbors. I was married to Daniel Brooks for 5 years. 5 calm, stable, boring years. Or so I believed. Daniel worked in international logistics. That was his excuse for everything. Business trips. Late nights. Missed anniversaries. I trusted him. That was my first mistake. That morning started like any other. Daniel had left early again, saying he had to catch a flight. I stayed home, cleaning the house, trying not to feel lonely. Then I saw it. On the dining table. Something dark blue. Something thick. Something that did not belong there. I picked it up. My hands froze. It was a passport. But not Daniel's. The name on it wasn't Daniel Brooks. It said, Miguel Santos. Nationality, Portuguese. My heart slammed into my chest. Miguel? Portugal? My husband had never mentioned Portugal. Ever. I opened the passport. And there he was. Daniel's face. Same eyes. Same scar near his eyebrow. But a different name. A different country. A different life. My legs gave out. I sat down, gasping for air. For 5 years, he said they were business trips. 5 years. Suddenly, everything replayed in my mind. The trips that always lasted exactly 2 weeks. The phone calls he never answered overseas. The foreign charges on our credit card. The nights he smelled like unfamiliar perfume. I wasn't stupid. I had been carefully deceived. I opened my laptop. Typed one word. Miguel Santos, Portugal. My hands were shaking. The page loaded. And then, I saw him. Daniel. Smiling. Standing beside a woman. Holding a child. The caption read, Family Day, Lisbon. My stomach dropped. He didn't just cheat. He had another family. A wife. A child. A whole life. While I waited alone in Boston, missing him, defending him to friends. He was living as someone else. I stared at the woman in the photo. She looked kind. Happy. Unaware. Just like I had been. She wasn't my enemy. She was my mirror. I hovered over my keyboard. Then I typed. Hello. My name is Helena Brooks. I believe we are both married to the same man. I stared at the screen. Heart racing. Finger trembling. Then I hit send. My phone buzzed. One message. From an unknown number. It said, I've been waiting for this message for 3 years. I've been waiting for this message for 3 years. Those words stared back at me like a warning. Or a promise. My phone rang. An international number. I answered with shaking hands. Hello. I whispered. There was a pause. Then a soft voice said, My name is Sofia Almeida. I live in Lisbon. Her English was careful. Gentle. I think, she continued slowly, we are married to the same man. We talked for hours. Every sentence felt like a knife. Daniel told her his name was Miguel Santos. He said he worked in shipping. He traveled often to America. 5 years. Exactly like me. He said his business trips were stressful, Sophia said. He said distance made him quiet. I closed my eyes. He said the same to me. There was a pause. Then Sophia spoke again. We have a son, she said. My chest tightened. How old? I asked. 4. 4. Daniel's double life had a face. A name. A child who believed he had a father who loved him. I felt sick. Sophia lowered her voice. There is something else, she said. My heart sank. He is not just lying to us, she continued. He is wanted. I sat up straight. For what? Fraud, she said. Identity theft. Money laundering. The room spun. Sophia explained everything. Daniel, Miguel, had multiple identities. Different passports. Different bank accounts. He used marriage as cover. Used love as camouflage. He disappeared once before, she said. A woman in Spain reported him. Then he vanished. Cold fear crawled up my spine. This wasn't just betrayal. This was criminal. He moves countries every few years, Sophia explained. Uses family life to look normal. Normal. I almost laughed. I took a deep breath. Sophia, I said, we can't let him do this again. There was silence. Then she said something that changed everything. I was hoping you would say that. We shared everything. Emails. Photos. Flight records. Bank statements. Patterns started to appear. Daniel didn't just have two families. He had a system. And systems can be broken. We need proof, Sophia said. Something that forces him to show all his faces. I looked at the passport still lying on my table. I think, I said slowly, I know how. I typed a message to Daniel. I found the passport. We need to talk. Tonight. I stared at the screen. He replied within seconds. You don't understand. Please don't tell anyone. I felt something shift inside me. Fear turned into clarity. Sophia sent me a final message before we hung up. He thinks he controls the story, she said. But tomorrow, he meets both endings. That night, Daniel booked a flight. Not knowing that for the first time in 5 years. He was flying straight into the truth. Daniel walked through the front door smiling. Like nothing had changed. Like I didn't know everything. Helena, he said warmly, dropping his bag. I missed you. I watched him carefully. Same voice. Same face. Same lies. Your trip was short, I replied. He hesitated for half a second. Meetings got cancelled, he said smoothly. I nodded. Inside, I was screaming. I walked to the dining table and placed the passport in front of him. Slowly. Deliberately. His smile vanished. The color drained from his face. Explain, I said calmly. For the first time in 5 years, Daniel looked afraid. He laughed nervously. It's not what you think, he said. It's for work. Temporary documents. I leaned closer. Then why does it say Miguel Santos? Silence. Heavy. Dangerous. I was going to tell you, he said quickly. I needed time. 5 years. I asked. He ran a hand through his hair. You wouldn't understand, he snapped. I did this for us. That's when I knew. He wasn't sorry. He was cornered. My phone buzzed. I answered on speaker. Hello, Helena, Sophia's voice said. Daniel froze. Who is that? He whispered. I looked him straight in the eye. Your wife, I said. The other one. Daniel stepped back. This is insane, he said. She's lying. Sophia laughed softly. Tell her about Lisbon, she said. Tell her about our son. Daniel's knees buckled. He sat down. I didn't mean for it to go this far, he said quietly. Then why did it? I asked. He didn't answer. Because there was no good answer. Sophia spoke clearly. You used my name to open accounts, she said. You stole money. You disappeared. Daniel looked at the floor. I needed money to move, he muttered. I felt sick. We weren't wives. We were tools. Daniel, I said calmly, this conversation is being recorded. His head snapped up. What? Sophia continued. And so are the emails. And the transfers. I smiled for the first time. You taught us everything, I said. We just paid attention. Daniel stood up suddenly. You think you're smarter than me? He shouted. I didn't flinch. No, I said. We're done being afraid. He grabbed his bag and ran for the door. Too late. Police sirens echoed outside. Daniel stopped. Slowly turned around. And whispered. You planned this. I nodded. Yes. The knock came. Loud. Final. As officers entered the house, Daniel's eyes locked onto mine. This isn't over, he hissed. I watched him being handcuffed. And, for the first time, I believed him. The detective looked at us and said one sentence that froze my blood. Your husband isn't just a con man. He's been doing this for over a decade. Daniel, Miguel, sat behind glass. No charm. No confidence. Just a man with too many names. The detective, Mark Reynolds, spread photos across the table. Different women. Different cities. Different years. All married, he said. All abandoned. I felt dizzy. How many? I asked. At least 6, he replied. Sophia covered her mouth. We weren't special. We were chapter numbers. Detective Reynolds showed U.S. bank records. Daniel used wives to open accounts. Used their addresses. Their trust. He moves money through family life, Reynolds said. Looks clean. Feels safe. Safe. The word burned. There's more, the detective said quietly. He slid one last file forward. 2 years ago, a woman in Spain disappeared after confronting him. My heart stopped. Disappeared. I whispered. No body, he said. But strong suspicion. Sophia started crying. This wasn't just betrayal. This was survival. I couldn't stop thinking. What if I hadn't found the passport? What if Sophia never spoke up? Who would have been next? That night, Sophia and I talked for hours. We stop him here, she said firmly. For all of them. I nodded. Yes. The prosecutor wanted everything. Testimony. Emails. Voice recordings. We agreed. No hiding. No mercy. Daniel watched us from across the room during hearings. His eyes weren't angry. They were calculating. And that scared me more. A week later, I received a letter. No return address. Just 3 words written neatly. You ruined everything. I didn't shake. I smiled. Because for the first time, he was powerless. Sophia flew to Boston. When I saw her at the airport, we hugged like family. We weren't rivals. We were survivors. They made us silent, she said. But together, we're loud. The story broke. Headlines everywhere. Man with multiple identities arrested for marriage fraud across countries. More women came forward. Emails flooded in. Daniel's web collapsed. On the eve of the trial, the prosecutor called. Daniel wants a deal, she said. He'll confess everything, if one of you withdraws. I looked at Sophia. She looked at me. And we both knew. This was the moment that would decide everything. Daniel thought one of us would break. He was wrong. The prosecutor laid it out clearly. If one of you steps back, she said, he pleads guilty quietly. Less time. Fewer headlines. Daniel's condition was simple and cruel. 1 woman free. 1 woman erased. I looked at Sophia. She looked at me. 5 seconds passed. Then Sophia spoke. No. I smiled. Never. Daniel had built his life on division. Wives kept apart. Truth scattered. Fear isolated. But now, we were standing side by side. And he had nothing left to bargain with. The courtroom was packed. Media. Observers. Women who had come forward after seeing the news. Daniel sat at the defense table. No smile. No confidence. Just a man shrinking under the weight of his own lies. When my name was called, I stood. My voice didn't shake. For 5 years, I said, I trusted a man who told me love meant absence. I held up the fake passport. This piece of paper destroyed a lie, but it gave me my life back. Daniel stared at the table. Sophia followed. He told me I was his only world, she said calmly. He used my love to steal, lie, and disappear. Then she looked straight at him. You don't own silence anymore. Daniel's lawyer leaned toward him, whispering urgently. Daniel shook his head. Too late. The evidence was overwhelming. The judge turned to him. Mr. Brooks, also known as Miguel Santos, how do you plead? Daniel swallowed. Guilty, he whispered. The room exhaled. Multiple charges. Multiple countries. Fraud. Identity theft. Financial crimes. The judge's voice was firm. You will spend a significant portion of your life in prison. Daniel closed his eyes. For the first time, there was nowhere left to run. Outside the courthouse, cameras flashed. Any statement? A reporter asked. Sophia and I exchanged a glance. Yes, I said. This isn't about revenge. It's about truth. Sophia added, and about women refusing to stay silent. That night, Sophia and I sat quietly. Justice was done. But healing? That was just beginning. She asked softly, what do we do now? I looked out the window and answered, we build something new. The silence after the verdict felt strange. Not empty. Free. The day after Daniel was sentenced, I woke up before sunrise. For the first time in years, my chest didn't feel tight. No waiting for texts. No excuses. No lies traveling across oceans. Just quiet. I made coffee and watched the city wake up. And I smiled. Sophia stayed in Boston for a few weeks. We talked every night about everything we had ignored while surviving. The red flags. The loneliness. The moments our instincts warned us. He trained us to doubt ourselves, Sophia said once. I nodded. But we unlearned that together. We decided not to disappear. We decided to speak. With the help of the prosecutor's office, we participated in an awareness campaign about emotional fraud and identity abuse. We told our story. Not to relive pain, but to stop the next woman from becoming Chapter 7. Emails poured in. I thought I was alone. This saved me. I left him today. Every message felt like healing. People asked me if I forgave Daniel. I thought about it. Forgiveness wasn't something I owed. Peace was. So I chose peace. I closed the bank accounts. Changed the locks. Reclaimed my name. And I slept deeply for the first time in years. At the airport, Sophia hugged me tightly. We met through his lies, she said. But we leave through our truth. We promised to stay connected. Not as victims. As sisters. Weeks later, I stood in front of the mirror. I didn't see someone fooled. I saw someone awake. Strong. Clear. Unafraid to question. I whispered to myself. You trusted. That was not weakness. Staying silent would have been. For 5 years, he said they were business trips. Today, he has no passport. No stories. No women left to deceive. And I have my life back. Truth didn't just expose him. It freed us. If Helena and Sophia's story moved you, like to support women who speak up. Share this story with someone who may be doubting their instincts. Follow for more powerful stories of truth, resilience, and empowerment. Remember this. Your intuition is not paranoia. Your questions are not betrayal. And your voice is stronger than any lie.